things have changed a lot in recent years, but I came up at a time when there were not really a lot of shows that had more than one of us on it, you know, and especially unless they were taking place at a gay bar. And so to be at the Hollywood Bowl with a lineup of all queer comedians, it felt so nice. It just felt so gratifying and humbling at the same time. Yeah, it was really, really incredible.
And who were some of your queer inspirations in comedy, and what way did they influence you?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, I didn't know about a lot of them until I started my career, honestly. Other than Margaret Cho, I will continue to say her name in response to this question, no matter how many times I get asked. It will always be Margaret. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Margaret, and that's just the truth of it. I think once I started, people like Tig were huge inspirations as well. And a lot of people that I came up with, like Mateo and John Early and Julio Torres, those people, the people that I saw at open mics, and came up together and sort of really, we got to see each other grow. It was those people really inspired me as we were coming up.
And I've seen a lot of LGBTQ history documentaries, but I haven't seen one like this before that, tells the story of the history of comedy and puts it together with queer history. Why do you think it's an important story to tell, or an interesting one to tell?
I mean, for me, it is so important. I can't believe there hasn't been more on the subject in particular, especially with how important comedy has become to the culture now. And I'm really deeply ashamed and sad that I didn't know who Robin Tyler was before I watched this doc. And none of us on this carpet would be here without Robin Tyler. And that's if people take away one thing from this doc, I hope it's Robin. I really do. She should be a household name, and especially in gay households. So I really hope that people understand how important she is to our community.
And what potential do you think comedy has to really open people's minds and start conversations?
Yeah, I think comedy is a really sneaky way of creating empathy in a lot of people, and sharing your experience and getting people to understand sort of the nuance of the complications and the many layers to living life as a queer person. If you can get people to laugh, it's really disarming, and it's a really powerful tool in our toolbox. And I think especially for queer artists, a lot of people love to denigrate my success and say I'm a diversity hire. I wouldn't be on XYZ show if it wasn't for the fact that I'm a marginalized person. And the thing is about stand-up is that it is the great meritocracy of this industry. You're in that room with that audience, and they're either laughing or they're not. There is no politics. People do not laugh because they feel guilty or because of woke. It's just that's not how laughter works. And so for me, it's so gratifying to have that experience of being no, I know nobody can tell me shit because these people are laughing right now. So.
And quite shocking in the film to look back at some of the archived footage from the 80s at the height of the HIV AIDS crisis, with comedians choosing to devote their sets to homophobic jokes. And today, I think we see echoes of that in comedians choosing to tell transphobic jokes when there's so much violence against the community and anti-trans rhetoric and anti-LGBTQ legislation. What are your thoughts on comedians that choose to tell transphobic jokes and use their platform for that?
I mean, I just think it's so fucking boring at this point. It's the same joke over and over again. It's not funny. I don't believe that there is a subject that is off limits, but I do think at the end of the day, you have to be funny. And progressive comedians get a lot of flack for quote-unquote clapter, of being mission first and joke second. And I think you see with a lot of these people who are obsessed with trans people, it's all about ideology, and there are no punchlines. So it's just be funnier at the end of the day. Everything else is sort of immaterial, but our job is to be funny, and you're not even doing that.